All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99 back with another post-fight discussion video. All right, y'all, let's talk about it here real quick. Mayra Bueno Silva versus Macy Chiasson. All right, y'all, so first off, I got to say, man, I wish this fight went more than 2 rounds. I mean, really, I wish it went 3 rounds or we got more of what we got in the first round, because to me, this fight was turning out to be the best fight on the card. Well, of course, the main event was good. You know, it was a quick finish. But, I mean, as far as like a scrap, these two came out and they let it all go. I mean, Mayra Bueno Silva, she really brought the fight to the bigger, stronger woman here, and at times looked stronger. And she made Macy Chiasson have to bring out her made her have to bring out her beast in this fight. I don't think Macy expected Mayra Bueno Silva to bring out that type of fight. I mean, I didn't really feel like she was going to do that type of style either. I mean, Mayra Bueno Silva likes to lead a lot. I thought she would have maybe paced herself a little bit in this fight. You know, I thought that she would have slowed it down and maybe picked her shots and tried her best to, you know, throw in combinations and move and eventually throw combinations to get the fight to the ground. But, man, like, Mayra Bueno Silva was, like, fighting to finish in this one, man. And it was crazy because she was taking on a bigger, taller woman here that, you know, at times, yeah, it looked scary, like she was landing a lot of shots that were hurting Chiasson. But Chiasson took her best shots. And I'm not going to lie, man. Macy Chiasson, I expected her to win this one. I expected her to win in this fight. I do feel like there were some things lacking, though, still with her. I mean, and I mean that as a fan, like somebody who's been watching her throughout her whole career. I felt like there was just moments where she wasn't really dictating the pace like she could with her long jab and her long strikes. And I thought I even heard a corner mention that, like, you know, throw the long strikes out, throw them long jabs out, you know. She was letting Mayra Bueno Silva in her zone too much. You know, she was letting her try to bully her too much. Of course, MBS wore down and it went in Macy's favor, but I think she could have owned it earlier, where she could have just kept her at bay. You know, because Macy Chiasson has power. Like the old Macy Chiasson we seen at 145. You know, when she lets those long left hands go and them right hands go, she's got a lot of power. So I thought maybe if she took a page out of Amanda Nunes' book and just kind of used leg kicks and those long right hands from a distance, you know, she probably could have stopped Mayra Bueno Silva, you know, early in the fight, you know, hurt her early. But I'm looking back at the first round, yeah, I was surprised how she was having trouble landing from a range. You know, she was doing a lot of movement, but she wasn't connecting from a range. You know, no long jab. Like I said, I heard the corner tell her to throw it out, you know, throw them long strikes. But she threw a couple of like naked straight left hands and just missed off target, you know. Mayra Bueno Silva, you know, being shorter, she was actually connecting more. You know, Mayra Bueno Silva, her pressure was effective. She was cracking Macy with that straight and some body kicks. And then she threw she threw up a good straight left hand that caught Macy down the pipe. And then MBS threw that roundhouse heel kick, caught her with that, like to the side of the face, you know. So she was kind of mixing it up early. And then there was a point where she threw a straight in the kick and got into the clinch. And here's where I wanted to see the old Macy blast those knees, but it was actually MBS who was controlling the fight here. You know, she was actually controlling that clinch. And then when MBS went back to fighting from the outside, you know, she was just fighting with that pace to finish, which was probably a bad idea, which it was a bad idea, but it made for a good fight. You know, with her fighting with that aggression, it made for a good fight, and it made Macy have to make adjustments. But MBS, man, when she was in the pocket, she was connecting with some nice shots. You know, she was following up, cracking Macy. Macy being the bigger fighter, though, you know, she took the shots well. That's why I was like, okay, MBS, she got to slow down. She got to slow down here. But, you know, MBS is mean in the clinch, and she was ripping Macy with shots to the head and to the body. And then she was shanking her with them uppercuts, like, to the body, too, man. Like, when she clinched up, I was like, come on, you know, Macy got to let them things go, man. You know, she got to let them knees go like she used to, man. And that's one thing I want to see Macy Chiasson bring back is those knees to the body, man, because her knees were vicious. She did catch MBS with a couple of elbows up top, but it was really MBS who was winning these exchanges on the inside. Like, she landed some good right hands. She was cracking Macy and killing her to the body. But, you know, that volume was nice. But like I said, she was throwing with bad intentions and she was fighting to finish, which if you fight somebody this big and they have really good punch resistance, and Macy was taking these shots and Macy wasn't hurt, you know, eventually you're going to wear down. And that's what happened. Like, MBS started to kind of fade. So that's where Macy came on stronger. You know, she came on stronger. I believe she let her own snap and like hook combination go. Then MBS went went reeling back into the cage. And that's where Macy started to come on stronger. You know, she started landing some of her own knees to the body and momentum started going her way. I think, yeah, Mayra Bueno Silva kind of gassed out, just trying to fight for the knockout. So yeah, Macy Chiasson was able to take over and started landing some of her best shots toward the end of the round. I gave the first round to MBS, but yeah, she was really gassing herself out trying to knock out Macy. That wasn't going to work. But yeah, the second round, Chiasson definitely switched up her game plan for the better by going straight in for her own takedown. Now, I know it looked dangerous because Bueno Silva is the submission specialist, but this is what Macy needed. You know, she needed to stop the footwork and stop the pressure MBS. So when she did that, by getting the fight to the ground and just being on top, that was all she needed because Macy's big. She's been working on her ground game. You know, her jiu-jitsu is getting better and her top control is good. You know, like I said, being a bigger woman here, she was taking over. And then all it took was one heavy elbow right on the right brow MBS that opened up that nasty cut. And right away, it was already kind of bothering MBS. So Macy was safe to play in the guard. You know, she was safe to play in the guard. She was safe from any submission attempts. And she was able to get some work in. But eventually, when they stood back up, you know, that pace started to kind of go towards MBS. I think, you know, she did kind of let a combination go and looked like she wanted to get back in there and scrap with the, you know, on the feet. But the referee, you know, he had to step in and look at the cut and he stopped the fight. I mean, he had to stop the fight because, you know, the blood was gushing. And then when you looked at the damage, like it was really deep. You know, it was really deep in there. You could really see like in her eyebrow. Now, when we were watching it Saturday night, I was like, let the fight go because MBS wanted to keep scrapping, but he probably saved her from some serious damage right there because had it been anywhere else, like on the side of the head, fine, but with the cut being so deep right above her eyebrow, you know, she probably could have lost part of her like eyesight from however, you know, the blood getting her eye or, you know, just taking continuous shots there till the eye swole up and maybe crack something. So yeah, referee did a good job on stopping that. But yeah, some people were kind of knocking the victory, you know, just because you didn't get the climax. But that's how it goes sometimes. You know, TKOs aren't necessarily somebody being rocked and knocked down and then stepping in to stop it and all. Like, if you got vicious elbows and you cut something open and you can't continue, that counts as a TKO too. So when Macy landed that elbow and it cut her and she smiled, she already knew right then, okay, I did enough damage. You know, the girl's compromised. That shot's landed. Okay, this fight might not go any longer, right? So yeah, man, it was a TKO, legit TKO, had to be stopped, you know, just to save MBS, man. But yeah, moving on from here, Mayra Bueno Silva's definitely having a rough time. You know, she started out nice at 135. You know, she beat some of the unranked fighters, you know, some of the below average competition. But as soon as it kind of stepped up, you know, against Rocky, of course, the Holly Holm fight, that was kind of a, you know, that was kind of a win, but, you know, it turned out to be a no contest. So that kind of was a confidence killer in a way. But now she has two legit losses, you know, a stoppage to Chiasson and the title fight to Rocky. So she's got to go back to the drawing board and just kind of fight those mid fights, you know, like a Pani, Irene Aldana at some point, Norma Dumont, those type of fights, and kind of work on her skills, man. Work on her defense, especially, man. Like, MBS really need to work on the defense. I don't know how long she's going to be out. She posted a picture of the stitches. So it's going to take some time to recover because, you know, she has those kind of like thick, you know, thick flesh around the eyelids too, you know, so that area is going to cut easy. So now with this big cut over her eyebrow, you know, it's probably going to be some scar tissue there where it's going to be susceptible to cuts now, you know, so she's going to have to be careful with that. So defense has definitely got to be something on her radar, man, like in the gym. They got to work on that. As for Macy Chiasson, I know she felt like, you know, she might have been lacking a little bit too, like she said in the post interview. You know, still some questions need to be answered. Definitely, you know, I really need to see Macy Chiasson go back in there and work on her range. You know, she's got to go back to her long power shots. She's got to be vicious in the clinch again, and she's got to take over. You know, maybe it's still the weight that could be affecting her. From maybe she's trying to pace herself a little bit more, but I don't know. You know, being her size, you know, she's got to be more dominant. She's got to fight like a big woman. But let's see, man. Let's see if they line her up against Kayla Harrison, because Macy should be number 3 now if she takes Silva's spot. Let's see if they do the Kayla Harrison fight on the undercard of Rocky Pennington versus Juliana Pena later on this year, man. So we'll see how that goes. But guys, let me know what y'all thought of the fight. Like I said, it was turning into a good scrap. You know, it was kind of uneventful TKO, but that first round was good enough to go back and watch. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.